Hello everyone, we are back with another future card spotlight, highlighting two cards today. We've got Magda, Brazen Outlaw, and Goldspan Dragon. First one we're going to talk about is Magda, Brazen Outlaw. This 2-drop Dwarf does it all, folks. First off, you get a 2-1 for 2 legendary creature, Dwarf Berserker. Both the Dwarf and the Berserker will come into play, but we're going to focus on the Dwarf today. So, it gives all your other Dwarfs you control +1/+0. Right away, at the cheap Lord, pumps up all your Dwarves. You know, it's going to be an aggressive deck anyways. You're going to start dealing some damage. So next is, whenever a Dwarf you control becomes tapped, you create a treasure token. So a good thing to note about this is that it's tapped and not a tax. So if you happen to accrue any vehicles, which is going to be big in Kaldheim again, then you're still going to get a treasure token. And then every Dwarf that attacks is going to give you that treasure token as well. Why do you need these treasure tokens? One, well, it'll help you ramp into larger stuff, or you can sacrifice 5 treasures, search your library for an artifact or dragon card, and put a card directly onto the battlefield. That's very strong, as you'll see. A lot of good artifacts, a lot of good dragon targets for this, which we'll talk about in standard. So that's just great. So now that we have this card, let's kind of break down what's available currently in standard that we can use for this card. Alright, so do our search. We're going to put in standard what we're looking for. Let's start off with artifacts. Let's look at the big ones here. So as you can see, we have a few targets. See which ones are the best. Obviously, getting an Ember Cleave directly onto the battlefield, not too bad. Magic Mirror would be nice, but chances are you're not playing red-white. Circle of Loyalty. You know, could be some Dwarf Knight synergies, but chances are Ember Cleave is looking like the best one here so far. Then you're looking into your pure artifacts, so obviously Lithoform Engine, great target. Allow you to copy your Dwarves, copy your abilities. You know, if you copy triggered ability, you know, sack 5 treasures, you can get 2 artifacts or dragons the next time. So, not bad right there. What else you're going to have? You can get a Solemn Simulacrum, little ramp. Not the best. You'll get Forsaken Monument. Chances are you won't have too many colorless permanents or mana sources in your deck. A couple good options. You know, ramp and 2 damage to something. Or one of the best is Chromatic Aura. You're going to be able to, you know, spend any mana you want to cast your spells. You can add 5 mana. You know, huge ramp. A lot of possibilities with that. So, the artifacts you can get, not a ton of them, but there are some good options. Now we're going to look at creatures and take off here. Start looking. What dragons can you get? So, hopefully no one plays Baneslayer Angel. Protection from dragons. But, this is one of the best options right here. Fits in both the treasure aspect of it and the dragon. Gadrak, the Crown of Scourge. 5/4 flying for 3 mana. Can't attack unless you control 4 more artifacts. You know, with Magda, it's going to be pretty easy to do. In the beginning of your end step, you're creating a treasure token, which will help for both Gadrak. It'll help for both Magda. So, 2-prong there. Be a pretty strong target for the deck. Leyline Tyrant is great. 4/4 flying. You know, unspent red mana. You know, that's even from like treasure tokens you're stacking. Everything can just stays there. And then when this dies, just deal a bunch of damage. I like Terror of the Peaks, obviously. Hard to kill. Any dwarf you cast in the future just starts dealing damage to stuff, and you got a 5/4 flying threat on the battlefield. Even the uncommon big boy, 6/6 flying with fire breathing, too bad. Another good option is Corvold. You know, if you're sacrificing 5 treasures, you know, basically you're drawing 5 cards, making this a 9/9. So that's a good option to kind of combine those two synergies. It could get a little out of control. So there you have some artifacts, some dragons you can get. What about dwarfs in standard? The answer is not too many. You know, your 1/3, your 1-drop, probably don't want to play that. Roomrock Knight is not too bad. Kind of helps with, it's aggressive. Just a 2-mana 3/1 can bump up another creature. 7 Dwarfs is interesting. Obviously, this could see play in a Dwarf deck. Those Dwarfs getting better. You can have up to 7 of them in the deck, obviously. And then probably the best one right here is Torbrand. So this is great. It, you know, becomes a 3/4 itself with Magda. You know, Magda deals 4 damage. All your other dwarves, your red dwarves, can be dealing more damage. So that's a great dwarf to have. So as you can see, there's a lot of synergy. And then last, if you look at treasures, not really much in standard that gives you treasures other than the Gadrak, the Crown Scourge that we talked about before. Luckily in Kaldheim, though, what they do have available is a brand new dragon that fits perfectly with Magda. Goldspan Dragon, folks. 4/4 flying haste for 5 mana. So every time it attacks, it becomes the target of a spell, which is going to be the first turn. And you create a treasure token. Obviously, we want treasure tokens, right? But now, each of your treasures can sacrifice for 2 mana instead of 1. So it allows you to ramp into other things. Basically, just another way to get treasures. Great dragon to have. You can search for it with Magda. Just works great with what we're looking to do with this dwarf dragon deck. So, yeah, a lot of good options. I think this is there's a deck here for sure. Whether it's going to be, you know, red-white dwarfs, whether it's going to be just mono red, you know, dwarf dragons. Time will tell. But there are a lot of options here, and I think there's going to be a deck. So I'm excited to test out these 2 cards, play them out, and see how they work together. All right. Another future card spotlight on Magda, Brazen Outlaw, and Goldspan Dragon. All right. See you next time. Bye.